Early season dominance versus final championship outcomes in F1's turbo hybrid era. A McLaren team member celebrates an early season victory. McLaren's commanding start, 5 wins in the first 6 races of 2025, has sparked debate over whether such early dominance guarantees championship glory or if history offers hope for a late twist. The first 6 races, strong starts and championship odds. In Formula One's turbo hybrid era, 2014 present, a blistering start in the first 6 Grand Prix has usually been a reliable harbinger of championship success. When a team seizes a hefty lead after 6 races, they overwhelmingly go on to clinch the Constructors' Championship. During Mercedes' reign from 2014 through 2020, for instance, the Silver Arrows often dominated the opening rounds and never relinquished the title. In fact, in 8 out of 10 seasons since 2014, the team leading the standings after 6 races went on to win the Constructors' crown, the only exceptions being 2017 and 2021. Drivers themselves have acknowledged how decisive the early season can be. As McLaren's Lando Norris lamented in 2024, his title bid was just lost in the first 6 races, once Max Verstappen and Red Bull pulled out a big initial advantage. Early points on the board build a cushion that is hard to erode, especially under stable regulations where mid-season turnarounds are difficult. A dominant team after 6 events typically has both performance and momentum on its side. That said, usually is not always. A scorching 6-race start stacks the odds in favor of the leading team, but it doesn't absolutely guarantee they'll end the year on top. History since 2014 provides a few vivid examples of early leaders being reeled in as the season wore on. The predictive power of the first 6 races is strong, but not unbreakable. To understand the exceptions, we need to look at seasons where early dominance was overturned despite the trends. When early dominance was overturned, Constructors' Championship. McLaren's current scenario, leading the 2025 Constructors after 6 races, finds a precedent in Ferrari's 2017 campaign. In 2017, Ferrari came out swinging. Sebastian Vettel won the season opener and 3 of the first 6 Grand Prix. After a 1-2 finish in Monaco, round 6, Ferrari leapfrogged Mercedes to lead the Constructors' Championship. Vettel at that point also held a 25-point lead in the drivers' standings. It looked like Ferrari might finally end Mercedes' dominance. Yet by season's end, the trophy slipped from their grasp. Mercedes rallied in the development war and capitalized on Ferrari's missteps, ultimately retaining the Constructors' Championship, their 4th in a row. Ferrari's early lead was substantial but not insurmountable. Reliability gremlins, turbo failures in Asia, and a costly first-lap crash for Vettel in Singapore unraveled their title bid. The 2017 season proved a hard lesson. Even a strong 6-race head start can be overturned by a rival's consistency and upgrades in the long run. Another example came in 2021, a titanic battle between Red Bull and Mercedes. Red Bull struck first, with Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez giving the team a slim championship lead through 6 races. After round 6, Baku, Red Bull led the Constructors' standings 174 to 148 points over Mercedes, a 26-point gap in their favor. They had momentum and a quicker car on many tracks, threatening Mercedes' title streak. But as the year progressed, Mercedes hit back. Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas consistently scored, and the team found performance gains late in the season. By the finale, Mercedes had overhauled Red Bull to capture their 8th consecutive Constructors' Championship. Red Bull's early advantage wasn't enough. They needed a miracle in the final rounds to regain the lead and ultimately fell short. Once again, a frontrunner after 6 races, Red Bull, still lost the Constructors' title to an opponent that outdeveloped and outscored them in the second half. Comebacks in the Drivers' Championship. Can an outsider still win? The Drivers' Championship can be even more dramatic. If McLaren's two drivers sit first and second after 6 rounds, could a non-McLaren driver still snatch the title? Formula One law, even in the hybrid era, offers instances of lead changes and comebacks in the drivers' standings, especially when two teammates take points off each other and a clear challenger emerges from another camp. A prime example is again 2017, where Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel led the championship for over half the season. After 6 races in 2017, Vettel was on top with a comfortable margin. He was 25 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton and continued to lead the standings up until round 12. Yet Hamilton, for Mercedes, was not out of the fight. He chipped away at Vettel's lead and then surged in front as Vettel's campaign faltered in the fall. Ultimately, Hamilton clinched the 2017 drivers' title, finishing 46 points clear of Vettel. In other words, a non-Ferrari driver overcame Ferrari's early season leaders to win the championship. The early dominance by Vettel did not guarantee him the title. Hamilton's consistency and a late-season Ferrari slump swung the outcome. This is exactly the kind of scenario a non-McLaren contender in 2025 would be hoping to emulate. Outside the turbo hybrid era, F1 history has other famous comebacks. For example, Kimi Raikkonen's 17-point deficit with 2 races to go in 2007, or James Hunt overturning Niki Lauda's early lead in 1976. But even sticking to 2014 present, the pattern is clear. An early championship lead is a strong advantage, but it's not unassailable. If McLaren's nearest competitors can keep within striking distance through mid-season, say the gap stays moderate by the summer break, the door remains open for a comeback in the Drivers' Championship. Factors like development updates, strategy, reliability, and driver error will determine if a chasing driver can capitalize. To summarize the balancing act, a dominant first 6 races hugely tilt the championship odds in favor of the early leader, but they don't entirely lock up the outcome. In the Constructors' Championship, early dominance has historically held firm about 80% of the time since 2014, especially when one team clearly outpaces the rest. McLaren's explosive start in 2025, therefore, makes them the favorites, a fact not lost on their rivals. But the cautionary tales of Ferrari 2017 and Red Bull 2021 show that a determined challenger can rewrite the script in later chapters of the season. Development races in Formula One are relentless, and an early leader must continue to improve or risk being caught. In the Drivers' Championship, the fortunes can be even more fickle. A non-McLaren driver still has a fighting chance at the title if they can mount a sustained challenge and pounce on any slip-ups by the McLaren duo. History provides encouraging precedent for the underdog. Vettel's early leads in 2017 and 2018 were erased by Hamilton, and we've seen championship leads change hands deep into the season when 2 evenly matched contenders push the limits. For a non-McLaren driver to win in 2025, they will need to combine consistency with moments of brilliance, essentially outscoring both McLaren drivers over the remaining races, which likely means winning whenever McLaren falters. So what do you think? Can the McLaren garage be confident that their early dominance will carry through to season victory? Or will cracks appear in their armor and a hungry pursuer still snatch glory from the jaws of early defeat? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more F1 insights.